Hello everyone, it's great to see you again for a new gardening video. Today, we're going to try out an interesting rose propagation method using common household ingredients. If you have a rose bush you particularly love, one that produces beautiful blooms, has a color you adore, or offers a pleasant fragrance, propagating it from a healthy cutting is a fun way to create new plants. Best of all, you don't need any fancy or complicated tools. Now, let's get started step by step. First, I'll prepare the garlic solution. I take 3 cloves of garlic, wash them, and crush them. Then, I chop the garlic finely and place it into a clean plastic cup. Garlic contains many sulfur compounds, specifically allicin, which is released when garlic cells are crushed or chopped. It also contains antioxidants and other beneficial plant compounds. Because of these properties, gardeners often use garlic in homemade plant care recipes. In today's method, I'm using garlic primarily to create an initial soaking solution for the cutting. After placing the garlic in the cup, I add 500 milliliters of warm water. I stir the mixture well so the compounds in the garlic come into contact with the water, then let it sit for about 30 minutes. While waiting for the garlic solution, I move on to preparing the rose cutting. I select a favorite rose stem that is healthy and shows no signs of pests or disease. If the parent plant has multiple stems, it is best to prioritize those that are moderately mature with stems that are relatively firm yet still vigorous. I trim off all the leaves and sharp thorns from the stem. Removing the leaves helps reduce the surface area for transpiration. Before roots form, the cutting cannot absorb water and minerals as efficiently as a complete plant. Next, I remove any old or withered petals if the stem still has a flower attached. There is no need for the stem to expend energy maintaining a fading bloom. Our goal now is to help the stem survive and create the right conditions for new root formation. Then, I shorten the stem, keeping only about 20 centimeters. A cutting does not need to be very long. A stem of moderate length is easier to secure and reduces the amount of water the plant needs to maintain. By now, the garlic solution has steeped for the required time. I place the rose stem into the cup of garlic water and let it soak for about 30 minutes. While the stem is soaking, we prepare the second ingredient, a carrot. I take a carrot, wash it thoroughly, and peel off the outer skin. I don't discard the peel immediately. Instead, I chop it into small pieces and place them in a clean plastic cup. Carrot peels contain organic matter, plant compounds, and carotenoids, most notably beta-carotene. In this recipe, the carrot peel serves primarily as a source of mild organic material. Next, I add 100 milliliters of Coca-Cola and 100 milliliters of clean water to the cup. The key ingredients to consider here are the water, sugar, and food-grade acids found in the beverage. The amount of Coca-Cola used is relatively small and diluted. Traditional methods utilize the sugar as an easily accessible carbon source for microorganisms, but it does not act as a direct root stimulant. After adding the Coca-Cola and water, I stir the mixture well and let it sit for about 30 minutes. Now, we prepare the setup for soaking the cuttings. I take a small, clean glass jar and a piece of foam, cutting the foam to fit the jar's opening. But before moving to this step, the rose cutting has already been soaking in the garlic solution for a full 30 minutes. I gently remove the cutting from the cup. Next, I use a thin cloth or a clean sieve to strain out all the garlic pulp, keeping only the liquid. Similarly, I strain the Coca-Cola and carrot peel mixture, removing the carrot solids. Then, I pour both liquids into a clean cup and stir gently. As you can see, we now have a mixture combining the garlic solution with the carrot peel solution diluted in Coca-Cola. Now, I fill the prepared glass jar with the solution. I take the foam piece and thread the rose cutting through its center. The foam serves to hold the cutting upright and keep it in place. When positioning it on the jar, I adjust it so the base of the cutting is submerged in the solution, while the upper stem remains exposed to the air. This step requires a gentle touch. If the cutting is shaken vigorously or the base suffers an impact, the recovering tissues could be damaged. Next, I cover the jar and the rose cutting with a plastic bag or a clear plastic cup. The purpose of this covering is to maintain humidity around the cutting and minimize rapid moisture loss. I position the entire setup in a cool, airy spot shielded from strong winds and, crucially, out of direct, harsh sunlight. A location with soft, Diffused light and stable temperatures is ideal. In the days that follow, patience is key. This is a stage where novice gardeners often feel impatient. Newly forming roots are extremely delicate and prone to snapping. Pulling the cutting out every few days could inadvertently disrupt the root formation process. Instead, simply observe the stem and buds. After about 10 days, you can proceed to check it. Under the right conditions, fresh green shoots may appear on the stem. At the same time, white, succulent young roots may begin to emerge at the base of the cutting. This is a very promising sign, indicating that the cutting is transitioning into the phase of developing a new root system. If the roots have developed sufficiently, proceed to the final step, planting the cutting in a fresh growing medium. I'd like to point out one important thing. A rose cutting's ability to root depends on many factors, such as the variety, the age of the cutting, temperature, humidity, and care conditions. The ingredients we're using today are based on home gardening practices rather than specialized rooting hormones. So, don't worry if your cutting takes longer than 10 days to start showing roots. Prepare a clean pot with good drainage. This is crucial because young roots are particularly sensitive to waterlogging. For the potting medium, you can use treated river sand or any clean, well-aerated substrate that drains well. Place the cutting in the center of the pot, gently fill the space around the roots with the potting medium, and secure the plant in plots. After planting, do not expose the plant to intense sunlight immediately. A cutting that has just developed roots needs time to acclimate. Place it in a well-ventilated spot with soft, indirect light and maintain consistent moisture. Once the plant begins to grow steadily, showing new leaves and a stronger root system, you can gradually introduce it to brighter light conditions. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. For now, I wish you lots of joy in your garden with thriving plants and brilliant blooming seasons.